So in this video, we'll see basic concepts of word problems. Word problems is a topic which consists of several subtopics, and this thing word problem. So the questions here would be very wordy. They'll have a lot of English language, and our job will be to figure out or to convert that English to maths. That'll be our job. So we need to be very focused in terms of understanding the question, and if the language of the question is a little tricky, we need to be very slow in reading the question. So that is the basic point here. Let's start with overlapping sets. Let's take a simple situation. There is a room which consists of total 20 people. Okay, some of them play tennis, some of them play football. Okay. So let's say I call all the people who play tennis out. Let's say that number is 10. Okay. Then I send all those people back into the room. Okay. Now the room has all of 20 people. Now I call all the people out who play football. Let's say that number is 13. Okay. So 10 people play tennis, 13 people play football. This count is 23, which is more than the total number of people in the room. How is that possible? That is possible only if some people are there who play both tennis and football. Okay, so this is the overlapping thing we are talking about. Okay, this is the overlap we are talking about. Hence the name overlapping sets. Now, this example that we took, there are two categories. Okay, so people playing tennis, people playing football. So we are concerned with only these two categories. So we solve these kind of questions. These kind of questions means questions having just two categories through a matrix method. 3 horizontal lines, 3 vertical lines. Okay. So two categories, tennis and football. So people playing tennis, people not playing tennis, people playing football, people not playing football. Okay. There is no any other type of person sitting in that room. They either play tennis or they don't play tennis. They either play football or they don't play football. So we are just concerned with only these things and nothing else. So let's see what box means what number. So if I say 10 people play tennis, that means this is this number. Okay. So when I say 10 people play tennis, that means total 10 people play tennis. Okay. 13 people play football, that means total 13 people play football. Okay. And there are total 20 people in this room. So 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. So once I get this number, I automatically get this number. Similarly, 13 plus 7 is equal to 20. So I get this number also. So 7 people, they don't play football. Similarly, 10 people don't play tennis. Okay. So if I say 10 people play football, that means total 10 people play football. That's how we need to interpret the language. So in overlapping sets, every single word has to be seen very carefully. That's a basic catch in all the questions. Right? So this word total might not be there. So once I say 10 people play tennis, total 10 people play tennis. No other plays tennis. Similarly, 13 people play football. That means total 13 people are playing football and no one else is playing football. Now, if I have a number here, let's say 5. Okay, what would this 5 mean? This 5 means they play tennis and they play football also. So that means they play both. Okay, if I say this number, so 5 plus 5 will add up to this number. So once I decide this number, this also gets decided. So this 5 would mean they play tennis but not football. Okay. The language might say they play only tennis. Only tennis would mean no football, just tennis, because we are talking about two categories. So only tennis means not the other category, just one category tennis. Same way, this would mean only football. I mean football, but not tennis. Okay. This neither football nor tennis. Neither football nor tennis. So that's how we need to figure out the language and put the number in the right place. That's it. That's the only job we need to do in this overlapping sets. Okay. First of all, figure out the categories. Okay, like tennis and football here. Okay, and then just plug in the numbers at the right places. That's all that is required here. Let's see a few examples. So cook prepares sandwiches of which 24 contain meat, 32 contains fish, 16 contain both. So the categories become meat and fish. Sandwiches containing meat, sandwiches containing fish. So meat, not meat, fish, not fish. So 24 contain meat, as I said in the previous slide. 24 have meat. So this number is this 24. 32 contains fish. So total 32 contain fish. 16 contain both. Both will be, they have meat and fish both. So that is 16. So this plus this must be equal to 24. That number becomes 8. This plus this becomes 60. So 16 plus 16 becomes 32. Now, if every sandwich contains meat, fish or both, that means there is no sandwich which contains neither fish nor meat. Okay. Every sandwich contains one of the things at least. Okay. So this number neither becomes 0. Okay. There will be a lot of questions when it says everything is part of either this, that or both. That means neither is 0. That's the meaning of this language in there. So 16 plus 0, 16, 24 plus 16, 40, 8 plus 0, 8, 32 plus 8, 40. So 40 is the total number of sandwiches that we have. That's our answer. Let's take another example. 3 horizontal, 3 vertical lines. Shirts, neckties. So shirts, not shirts. Neckties, not neckties. Of the 200 customers, so the total number of customers is 200. This number is grand total. 120 purchase shirts. So it doesn't say only shirts. It says shirts. That means this is total 120. 100 neckties. Again, this number is 100. So when I say this is 120, this is 200. This becomes 80. They must add up to 200. And this is 100. They must add up to 200. 40 purchase both. So this is both. So 40 plus 60 is 100. 40 plus 80 is 120. 60 plus 20 is 80. And 80 plus 20 is 100. What do we need? How many purchase neither dress shirts or nor neckties? So this is neither. That's our answer, 20. Next topic is percentage. So percentage, as we all know, if I say x percentage of y, that simply means x over 100 into y. This is what percentage means, nothing else. So let's see some languages and how do we convert that language to maths. So if I say x is increased by 10%. So how do we convert it to maths? X is increased means we are adding something to x. What are we adding? 10%. 10% of x we are adding to x. So x plus 10 over 100 into x, that is x plus 10 over 100 means 0.1 of x. So if I take x out, 1 plus 0.1. Okay. So 0.1 actually means what? 10% and this is 100%. So it becomes 1.1 of x. Okay, so 1.1 means something has been increased by 10%. So this 0.1 actually is 10%. Okay, so if I say 1.2x, that means x has been increased by 20%. So if I say 1.5x, that means x has been increased by 0.5. 0.5 means 50%. I mean, 50 by 100 is 0.5. Okay. Now if I say 0.9x, so 0.9x is 1 minus 0.1. So 1 plus 0.1 means 0.1 or 10% has been added. 1 minus 0.1 means x has been decreased by 10%. Okay. So 0.8x would mean 1 minus 0.2. So that means x has been decreased by 20%. So we can convert percentage change to decimals. That helps in many questions. Let's take one example. After having to pay increased income taxes this year, Edmund has to sell his BMW. So I feel for this guy. Edmund bought the car for 49,000, but he sold it for a 20% loss. That means he sold it for 20% lesser price. Okay, so that becomes 0.8 of x. So x is what? 49,000. So 0.8 into 49,000. That's what it is. So what does it become? Multiply by 8. 39200. That's what the answer is. Okay, some price or some value has been decreased by 20%. It becomes 0.8 of that value. So that's how we calculate. Let's see this question. So 35% of a number is 12. 35%. What is 35% of a number? If 12 is 15% of the number. So let's say x is the number. So 15%, 15 by 100 of that number is equal to 12. That is given to me. Now from here I can find value of x, right? So that will be 12 into 100 by 15, right? That is x. Now I need to find 35% of x. So that means 35 by 100 of x. We can do the calculations and we can get the number. There's another method also, another way, another short method I would say. 15% of something is 12. Okay. So 5% of something would be, 5% means, so we have done what? 1/3. 1/3 of 15 is 5. So 1/3 of this would be 4. For example, what I'm doing is, if I say 50% of something is equal to 80, let's say. So I'll be 25% of that something, 25% of x. I mean half of it, so half of it would be 40. That's what I'm basically doing. So 5% becomes 4. Now what I need is 35%. That means 7 times. So 7 times of 4 would be 28. So that's our answer. So this needs far lesser calculations and we can actually visualize this thing easily. Okay, 15% of something is 12. 5%, that means 1/3 would be 4. 35% means 7 times 5%. So 28. Let's see another question. 12% chromium, while in another alloy it is 8%. Okay, 15 kg of the first alloy. So 15 kg, there is 12% chromium in that. So that becomes 1.8 kg chromium. And 35 kg of the second. So 35 kg has 8%. So that becomes 2.8 kg of chromium. Okay. Now total chromium becomes 4.6 And so question is, find the percentage of chromium in the new alloy. So two alloys have been mixed. So total weight is what? 50. So 4.6 out of 50 is what percentage? That is actually 9.2% if you calculate. That is our answer. Okay. Now one more thing here. There will be another video of weighted average that I'll be sharing with this. Try this particular question with that concept also. Okay. So I've taken 2-3 examples also in that video of weighted average. So just try this question, this particular question with weighted average. Okay. What happens in weighted averages? I'll give you a brief idea. Two small groups or things are mixed or added to make a bigger thing. Okay, it could be two mixtures getting added to make a bigger thing. So that's what is happening here. One alloy, 15 kg of one alloy is getting mixed with 35 kg of another alloy. So that's a perfect weighted average example. So after watching that video, attempt this question again with that yourself. You'll get a better hang of weighted average. Let's see ratios. Ratios, actually there is not much concept in ratios. If I say A by B is a ratio and there's nothing conceptual about it, we can just see one thing. If I increase the numerator, okay, the value of the ratio would increase. Okay, and if I increase the denominator, the value of the ratio will decrease. That's what it is. Okay, and one more thing, let's say if I have to compare 1/2 with let's say 5/18, I need to compare these two ratios, let's say. So I can do two things. Either I make the numerators same. For example, if I multiply numerator as well as denominator by 5, what does it become? 5/10. So 5/10, 5/18. Okay, same numerator, bigger denominator means a smaller value. Okay, if the denominator is bigger, the value of the ratio would be smaller. Or we can do one more thing. We can make the denominator same. So 1/2. I need to make the denominator 18, so I multiply numerator as well as denominator by 9, so it becomes 9/18. So now if you compare these two, same denominator, so bigger numerator means a bigger value. So that's what the ratio basically means. Let's see some questions. So Maria uses a recipe for 36 cupcakes that require 8 cups of flour, 12 cups of milk and 4 cups of sugar. Okay, how many cups of milk would Maria require for a batch of 9 cupcakes? So what we're concerned with is just milk. So 36 cupcakes need 12 cups of milk. So the ratio of cupcakes to milk is 3:1. So whatever recipe I make, or I mean whatever quantity I make of that recipe, the ratio must remain 3/1. So if I need to make 9 cupcakes, okay, I need to maintain this ratio, so I need 3 cups of milk. Okay, the ratio 3:1 is to be maintained. That's a very simple example. Let's see another question. A container holding 12 ounces of a solution that is 1 part alcohol and 2 parts water. So alcohol is to water. The ratio is 1:2. Okay. Total 12 ounces is the volume. Okay. So out of 12 ounces, so let's say this is x, this is 2x quantity. I mean the ratio is 1:2. their sum is equal to 12. That's what it means. So it has to be 4 plus 8. So 4 is alcohol and 8 is water. That is one solution. It is mixed with 8 ounces of another solution. That is 1 part alcohol, alcohol 1, and water is 3 parts. So 1:3 is the ratio of alcohol to water. So if it is x, it is 3x. Their sum is equal to 8. Okay. So this becomes 2, this becomes 6. 2 is alcohol, 6 is water. Now the question is, if we combine these two things, so total alcohol becomes 6, total water becomes 14. Okay. So if we cancel it by 2, if we divide it by 2, it becomes 3:7. This is the new ratio of alcohol to water. That's what we need. Okay. So we have done it by ratio concept. Again, try this question with weighted average concept once you see the video of a weighted average. Okay. And if you notice, it's like one solution is getting mixed with another solution. So it's a perfect weighted average example. One more question. In a writing competition, first place winner receives half of the prize money. So the winner takes half of prize money. So let's say X is the total prize money. So he takes half of it. If you see the last line, what was the total amount of prize money distributed if the winner receives 6,000? So winner is receiving 6,000. So total prize money X is equal to twice of 6,000, 12,000. Okay, so that's what it is. So total prize value has to be 12,000. So that's it. So we've taken 3 particular concepts: overlapping sets, percentage, and ratios. If you are confused with any point, go back to the video, see the video again. It's just that we need to be very, very careful with the language, and if you're struggling with understanding the language initially, break the question into smaller parts, try to see what would every line mean and so forth. And again, if you're struggling, read the question really, really slow. Okay. So with practice, your speed of understanding the question will also increase. Thank you.